Hey everybody, it's Paul back in New York for the New York Comic Con, and I am joined with Adam Hughes. Sir, thank you so much for being interviewed. I really appreciate it.
Oh, absolutely not a problem.
So my first question is, what comic book inspires you to kind of chase down this dream of being a comic book artist yourself?
What comic book?
Yeah, was there a certain comic that you're like, oh my god, I want to keep doing this? You know, was there any kind of comic that you kind of fell in love with that made you want to draw comics, or you've always wanted to draw?
Oh, well, when I was a kid, it was the Fantastic Four, and when I was a teenager, it was the X-Men, and, when I was in my 20s, it was Hellboy. So it changes from, as I go through my personal eons, it just keeps evolving and growing and changing, and I just realized either I'll never find that personal holy grail, or I'm really fickle.
That's good. Is there any certain character that you enjoy drawing the most?
Again, fickle. It changes from time to time, but I've been in love with drawing Catwoman ever since my run of Catwoman covers, and I really regret the fact that those ended before I could get all my ideas out of my system. So right now I'm going to go with Catwoman.
Now, I'm sure you probably asked this question before, but when I look at your Catwoman drawings, I see a hint of Audrey Hepburn in there. Is that just me, or is that like something you kind of drew inspiration from?
It's an inspiration thing, definitely, and it's intentional. I can never draw the same thing twice because I'm just completely I've got like artistic ADD. I'm all over the map, whatever inspires me while I'm working. And when you're doing a run of covers on a book, you want the character to look the same from cover to cover. You don't want people to go, wow, and this, she looks different from issue to issue, Mr. Hughes. What's wrong with you? So around my third or fourth Catwoman cover, I guess I was watching either like Sabrina or Roman Holiday, and I kind of went, oh, wow, that 1950s Audrey Hepburn, lounge chic glamour vibe. I don't know what it was. It was coupled with the Darwin Cook short-haired look for Selena. I was like, that's kind of the right way to go. And ever since then, I've been sort of inspired by the facial features of Audrey Hepburn to keep Selena in the same ballpark. And so yeah, it's intentional.
At what point did you feel like, man, I finally made it? I'm finally inside the comic book industry.
Oh, I'm still waiting for that to happen. At any moment, I totally expect the career police to show up and go, okay, you've been goofing off for 22 years. Time to get a real job. Let's head down to the plant.
And my final question, do you have any advice for comic writers who are trying to get into the industry?
Comic writers?
Or comic writers, artists, inkers, anyone who wants to get in there.
My advice for comic writers is, it's really hard to get into the business as a comic book writer, much more difficult than as a comic book artist, because a comic book artist can show their samples, and in 2 minutes, an editor can know, oh, I want to hire this artist. A writer has a much more difficult time trying to prove themselves. For anybody, whether they be an artist, a writer, whatever you are trying to get into comics, one, don't let anybody tell you anything so earth-shattering and horrible in a critique of your work that it sets you off your goal of being a professional comic book creator. It's going to be tough. You're going to get critiqued. You're going to get good reviews. You're going to get bad reviews. You're going to get praise. You're going to win awards, and people are going to spit on you. It's like any other creative endeavor. Don't let the bastards get you down, is what I'm saying. And whether you're a writer or an artist, practice your craft 25 hours a day. It's one of those few things where the more you do it, the better you'll get, especially if you're an artist. Unless you draw so much that you create eye strain or you hurt your hands. Every artist out there, and I'm going to assume this about writers too, you've got 10,000 pieces of crap in you. 10,000 awful works, and you got to get those out of your system before you can start getting to your good stuff. Well, the sooner you get those 10,000 out of you, the quicker you get there. So the more you practice, the faster you get the garbage out of your system. It's like some weird art algebra, and it's you can take it to the bank. It's gold.
Mr. Hughes, thank you so much. I really appreciate it, sir.
Thank you very much.
Take care.